With Sony's Spider-Man 2 recently swinging onto the PS5, we thought it was high time we took a look at a few forgotten and underrated superhero-based games that deserve your good old bloody love and attention.
So many dead.
They died fighting for freedom and justice.
When you're a video game based on a movie that is hailed as one of the worst superhero flicks to ever grace the world, well, the cards are always going to be stacked against you. So it's no surprise that basically everyone and their dog slept on Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters when it released way back in 2011. Yet, just like X-Men Origins Wolverine, if you do decide to exercise the memory of the turd of the movie the game's based on from your old noggin and give this little gem a go, you'll find a very well made hack and slasher in the vein of God of War.
Which was the style at the time.
Which just means Rise of the Manhunters is a whole lot of mindless fun enhanced by the silly natured powers and abilities afforded to you as a member of the Lantern Corps. The combat is weighty and at times a sheer green-infused spectacle that has a surprising amount of depth to it. And yeah, even though you'll largely just be punching aliens in the face over and over, the variety in the locales you fight in are a treat for the eyes and keeps things feeling fresh throughout. The plethora of levels are well designed, varied and packed with a ton of detail, which is really impressive for a game of this stature. Sure, as I said, the meat of the game is made up of your standard beat-em-up affair, but the game also throws in some light puzzle solving and some pretty solid on-rail shooting sections too that break up all the punching and kicking. And if that wasn't enough, the whole game can be played in co-op, meaning you can summon giant fists, hammers, swords, saw blades and even a goddamn mech with your favourite drinking partner on the comfort of your sofa, which, to me, just makes this one a no-brainer for a weekend binge. Sure, I've already covered Ghost Rider's three-dimensional forays into the world of gaming on this channel. I, like most, keep overlooking the Spirit of Vengeance small pixel adventure on the good old Game Boy Advance, which I've got to say is a shame as this tiny gem absolutely nails the brutal, fiery vengeance of the anti-hero down to a T. Not only is the game a hellish blast to play, but unlike Johnny Blazer's Penance Stare, the game isn't too hard on the eyes either, boasting fluid animations and art design up there with some of the best non-Nintendo games on the system. And hell, they even crammed in some 3D levels for the bike sections for good measure too, which kinda have a nice road rash whiff about them. But what really makes this game a standout is the game's strikingly in-depth combat system. Old Flamey Head just feels right here. He's heavy and powerful but not sluggish and has an extensive arsenal of moves at his bony fingertips. Combos, aerials, charges, grabs, dashes, chain pulls, rage mode, and even the goddamn Penance Stare are all here and are all screen-shakingly fun to use. It's nothing overly complicated, mind you, but what it does right.
It is the third decade of the 22nd century. Unemployment is endemic, boredom is universal, and only the judges can prevent total anarchy. Empowered to dispense instant justice, they are judge, jury, and executioner all in one. The most feared and respected of all the judges is Dredd. He is the law.
Even though he may be the law, the most feared judge in Mega City 1 has only found himself appearing in just 2 video game outings. First we got the 1995 movie tie-in game for the SNES, which was surprisingly good, truth be told. Then much later on we would get Dredd vs. Death, which, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated first-person shooters out there. The game from top to toe is just a schlocky, hyper-violent good time that will leave you smiling throughout as you enforce the very dubious law on the residents of Mega City 1. Yeah, being overweight in this world is actually a crime. No body positivity here.
Taking a 3-month vacation to the cubes.
I'm innocent!
But what truly makes this game stand out is in its variety. Each locale is vastly different from the last, as are the enemies that range from the ordinary to the supernatural. If you've ever wanted to fight zombies, vampires and werewolves in a bloody shopping mall, well, Dread vs. Death's got you covered. They also nailed Dread's main firearm, known as the Lawbringer. It's immensely satisfying to use, and switching between all the ammo types on the fly as you decimate all in your way while Dread pops off some awesomely cheesy one-liners is just so goddamn satisfying. The whole thing can be played in co-op too, and has an arcade and multiplayer mode to round off the experience. It may be kinda short, yet it is sweet and a bloody good time. If you haven't already, come on, check this one out for me.
I am the law.
Yeah, sure, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 may be the goated fighting experience featuring our favourite bright and colourful heroes, but there is one superhero fighter that holds a special place in my heart and still holds up surprisingly well today. Actually no, fuck that, it's actually great. The game I'm talking about is X-Men Mutant Academy 2, a 2.5D fighter that came out way back in 2001. Personally, I never owned a PlayStation growing up, but my grandma did, and she had a massive collection of two, yes that's right, two games. One was Grand Theft Auto London, and the other was, yes that's right, you guessed it, X-Men Mutant Academy 2. And honestly, this was my shit growing up. And yeah, after recently smemulating Academy 2, I can honestly say this is still a damn fine game, and no mere cash-in.
I like it a lot.
So yeah, the game's a fire. It's easy to pick up, but it will take you some time to master. The extremely in-depth and layered combat system is a true treat for any fans of the genre, but if you're not highly skilled, the game can still be a whole lot of fun to button mash your way through. Not only that though, if you're a fan of the old X-Men series, films, or even the comics, then there is an absolute wealth of fan service, things to see and do, and also a massive amount of unlockables for you. Not only do you get 18 X people to choose from, including old Webhead himself, all with their own alternative costumes, but you also get to duke it out on various stages, all themed on major events from the X-Men storyline. However, the biggest selling point of this game is the ability to play as Charles Xavier, Professor X himself, wheelchair and all. Come on, you know you want to try that out.
What do they call you? Wheels?
And lastly, for part 1 of this list, it's time to talk about Iron Man. No, not the terrible console game that I so desperately tried to convince myself is good. No, I want to highlight Iron Man 2 for the good old Nintendo DS. Sure, the game is no looker, but it kinda has that blocky N60 feel to it that hits you right in the nostalgia. Looks aside though, the game is surprisingly smooth to play, with Iron Man and other playable character War Machine having a healthy arsenal to play around with, and some super intuitive flight mechanics that make jumping from ground to air combat an absolute breeze. Both Iron Man and War Machine play extremely different to each other too, which is a nice touch to add some replayability to the relatively short experience. But yeah, what you get is essentially you just walk or fly from side to side and blow up all in your way with the occasional bullet hell shooter stage thrown in for good measure. But I've got to say, thanks to the fluid, satisfying combat and smart use of the touchscreen, this game never gets stale. Plus, when you throw in a wealth of unlockables, upgrades, suits, and some high score chasing antics, it just makes this one a heroic handheld offering not to be overlooked.
not a great plan.
This is only part 1 of forgotten yet surprisingly good superhero-based gems you need to check out, so be sure to leave us a little like and subscribe so that you don't miss part 2. Oh yeah. Also, if you don't mind, leave us a little comment as it really does help to appease those YouTube algorithm gods. Thank you. Until next time, you guys stay tipsy.